To begin once again in Memphis, there are new developments following the death of Tyre Nichols. A vigil was held in his honor last night near the intersection where police officers beat him after a traffic stop. He died in a hospital just days later. Now, the city has disciplined or fired 10 police and emergency workers who were at the scene, including the 5 officers who were charged with murder. You've seen them on videotape. Elise Preston is in Memphis with more on the story. Elise, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Gail. It is clear the city is trying to heal from what has been a traumatic past few days. Yesterday, protesters peacefully gathered once again, demanding more than just individual accountability. Demonstrators in Memphis continued to call for police reform Monday, as Memphis police announced that 2 more officers had been relieved of their duties pending an investigation.
Damn, I didn't do anything.
An attorney for one of the officers, Preston Hemphill, confirmed his client wore the body camera seen in this footage. During the initial traffic stop, Hemphill...
Yeah, this guy was like not a part of the original Gang of 5, which I thought was very odd. And I guess other people also saw that and were like, wait a minute. Because when the body camera footage came out, my immediate reaction wasn't like, oh, wow, this is so unique and so brutal. Like, no, this is like, unfortunately, not unique at all. But what was really odd about it was that, like, well, this motherfucker's on camera beating the shit out of Tyre Nichols, too. And it doesn't seem like he was charged. At least we know he wasn't because he's white, you know? And all the cops that were charged were black. And it was so unconscionable for the police to just like leave out some of the other people that were offended, some of the other offending parties, right? That like they even went, that people literally thought that he had gloves on. You know, they were like, no, Hassan, you don't understand. You know, he was wearing a latex bodysuit. It's one of the black cops, actually.
Pulling Nichols from his car and attempting to taser him. After Nichols ran away, Hemphill could be heard saying this.
I hope they stop his ass.
Hemphill's attorney says his client was not present at the second scene where the beating took place. He has not been charged with the crime. The Memphis Fire Department also announced yesterday it fired 2 EMTs and a lieutenant who arrived on the scene after the beating for allegedly not administering adequate care.
This is valid too, by the way, straight up. It's valid. Again, though, I gotta fucking bring this up, dude. Listen, the reason why everyone was just sitting around twiddling their goddamn thumbs is not because they're all fucking uniquely brutal. The brutality is not unique. I hope people understand it. That's so fucking normal, dog. That's so normal. It's so normal and so normalized that they just sat around and chatted about how hardcore they were and how badly they beat them. As the EMTs did not fucking, rush to immediately save this person's life.
Yesterday, it fired 2 EMTs and a lieutenant who arrived on the scene after the beating for allegedly not administering adequate care for nearly 7 minutes.
We pray for healing in the city.
Monday night, mourners gathered at a vigil for Nichols at the same spot where he was beaten. The 29-year-old was a father to a 4-year-old son.
What can you do when you experience trauma or when you have difficult emotions?
Administrators at the Balmoral Ridgeway Elementary School in Memphis are trying to help students process their community's grief.
They're not sure what those feelings are. So it's important to put a name to it so that they can understand what this is that they're seeing and how it's making them feel. I want you all to take out a sheet of paper and a pencil.
The school's counselor, Titantia White, had students write about their dreams for a better Memphis.
It's sad. We can't trust cops. They're supposed to save us, not hurt us.
I think there should be less violence in the city of Memphis.
One thing we need is more positivity.
To hear some of the pain that were in some of those letters, that tells you that we have work to do. We have healing to do throughout the city.
As Memphis continues to mourn, the Biden administration announced it will send 4 officials to Tyre Nichols' funeral tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Shelby County District Attorney says more charges could be forthcoming in the future. Tony?
I know you'll keep following it, Elise. Thank you very much. As we reported yesterday, all 5 officers charged in Nichols' death were part of a specialized...
This is the one component. This is the one component that I think is interesting from the media in their effort to, like, basically try to decouple this kind of police brutality that happened to Tyre Nichols and all other forms of policing that has identical forms of brutality, has led the media to start making these interesting questions, to start taking this interesting position. Maybe it's just the specialized units that are at fault. Now, we here at the HasanAbi broadcast know that, like, the answer is not specialized units, although specialized units are additionally violent. So, that's still an overall tiny dub to have the media, which normally operates, to defend police unconditionally, okay? It's not a bad thing that they are, it's not a bad thing overall that they're asking these questions. You know, it's not. Now, ultimately, the entire thing is like organized in a criminal organization. Here, I mean, let's take a look at this. Look. This is going viral today. Man totally surrenders with 0 resistance and still gets some police hospitality. Let's take a look. Get on the fucking ground. Don't fucking move. Well, is he on the ground? It seems like he's on the ground. It seems like he's not fucking moving until he kick him in the head.
Where's the gun at? Let me see your fucking hand. Where's the fucking gun? I don't have it. Motherfucker. What the fuck's your problem?
On a preview video he shot at the cops. So he might have a gun. Okay. But who gives a fuck, dude? Look at him. He's on the ground. Dude shot at them. Oh, okay, never mind. They should have killed him then. You're right. Full clips gives better context, still not justified. Any kind of circumstance where you fucking take the stance of defending this level of apprehension in a situation where they're not actually trying to apprehend him, you're in the wrong. Okay? Please understand this. Because there is no justification for this. There is no justification. It doesn't matter that he shot at fucking cops. He's given up. He's on the ground. The only instance, if while he was shooting at them, if they shot back and killed him, then that's valid. Okay? But you have to recognize that, like, when someone is saying, like, all right, I'm giving up, I'm sorry, whatever the fuck, okay? Regardless of their crime, cops are not supposed to be exercising additional levels of brutality, okay? It's not their job to do this. Please. This has been a significant dub overall if doing bare minimum firing, charging cops, portraying the victim as a good person he was instead of showing his mugshot, etc. will reach the PD media's response of ultimately quelling protests. Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, it shouldn't have taken this long, but I will take it. I think I think there's more nefarious PR behind this, though. Ultimately, I'm not as.
Hey, can you shut it down? Do you know where he threw his gun? I don't know where he threw it at. It's right here. Hey, don't fucking move, man. What the fuck is your problem? Get on the ground. Get on the fucking ground.
Like, look, dude. You think that's you think that's valid, dude? You think a cop that does that to that guy doesn't think that that's, like, the right thing to do? That guy thinks that's the right thing to do, bro. How do you not get that? By the way, if you watch the whole clip, it gets even worse. He turns to the camera and asks, "Are you recording this?" No shot. Give me the full one. I need to see the full clip. Does anyone have the full clip? I want to see it. We're going to watch the cops arresting a grandma for feeding cats later as well today. Police de-escalation training should be getting the shit beat out of them by the way they do the citizens and survive if they get a badge. This plays along with the play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you try to rob a bank and get your head kicked in, you deserve it. That's what the I just don't feel bad for the guy when he's shooting at his others and is taken down. Sorry, Hasan. Says Mittens the Killer Bunny. 12-month subscriber. Still dropping double S Hasans in here. Literally says play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Don't you fucking understand? First of all, I love when chatters come in and go, yeah, I'm a fucking asshole, okay? Let me tell you something. Yeah, I just said your name is Hasan when it literally has one S everywhere on the fucking chat. Like everywhere. You did it. You fucking did it. You owned me, okay? That's the full video? Really? Come on, suck my cock, you fucking piece of shit. I'm going to ban you before I ban this fucking piece of shit, okay? We're literally in the middle of covering police brutality, and you're like, I poop socked you. Yeah, get fucking perma, you stupid fuck. Are you happy?
Don't fucking move.
There's no excessive gore. There is gore, though. I mean, not gore, but there is blood. You have to understand something, okay? That is not an adequate apprehension of someone who is literally fucking surrendering, okay? Even if he shot at cops, is not. Because the same culture and the same fucking environment that justifies this shit is the reason why they think they can do it to everyone, okay? You think this guy is like, oh, well, I'm not going to kick the head of someone else because, like, they were not as brutal. No, they do it to everyone. Do you think Tyre Nichols deserved it? No, but they did the same shit to him. The entire point is, if you're slanted towards escalating to acts of violence, you're going to react in that way in all of the circumstances. Man, you are too easy to rile up, big boy. Dude, I'm sorry, but, like, you are literally a fucking idiotic person, okay? Like, you didn't win anything by riling me up, you fucking pathetic loser. You will be forgotten immediately as soon as I'm done shitting on you, okay? Fuck, man. How desperate are you for one moment of, like, interaction from another human being that you come in here and fucking say this? You also are probably going to inevitably be in a situation where someone with an insane amount of fucking power and authority over you can react in this way. Do you understand? God, you're so fucking stupid, dude. What did you own? You owned me? Is that what happened? You fucking triggered me? When we're talking about police brutality? You fucking idiot. You've been banned already? What the fuck? No, it must have been a meme ban or something. Yeah. Oh, shit. They were placed on leave. Even fucking Phoenix police was like, okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. Surveillance video showed as the patrol car starts back out of the parking space to respond to a call for service. The man pulls out a handgun. A shot goes off into the ground. The man then points the handgun at the officers in their car and fires one more shot. The bullet struck the patrol car's spotlight and went into the driver's side, a pillar. The man then runs into the occupied store, still holding the firearm, stated the officials. Body camera video shows officers rushing to the store with their guns drawn. Every part of this so far, up until this moment, is the right thing to do. The fact that they didn't even fucking shoot the guy there, right thing to do. Expected. Even though it's, unusual for cops to do the right thing up until that moment. The moment that they start exercising their own personal fucking interest in being violent to this guy is the moment where it's unacceptable. Please understand this. Okay? One of the clerks from the store recorded the video of the arrest, which shows 2 officers stomp on the suspect's head as he was getting down on the ground. At another point, you can see him hit the suspect with their guns. An officer was heard, super, fuck, what's your fucking problem? Then moments later, I'm going to blow your fucking head off. The suspect was transported to an area hospital before being booked into jail. The names of the officers have not been released, but police say they are assigned to the South Mountain Precinct. One of the officers had 6 years on the department. The other officer had less than 1 year on. Maybe that's why they didn't shoot him immediately. And the Phoenix Police Department recommended that the Maricopa County's office charge the officers with 1 count of aggravated assault while restrained, which literally is completely unacceptable. How would you react to being shot at, bro? Dog, I'm not a fucking cop. And I already said, if they shot him back, then that's valid. You fucking idiot. There's a reason why this is considered a war crime. Okay? Hey, what Eddie Gallagher did was a fucking war crime. Why? Because he tortured people that were restrained. What the fuck is wrong with you? One, if you shoot at someone who's shooting at you, that's an adequate response. If you fucking apprehend someone and then continue torturing them, that's an inadequate response that demonstrates that you should not be a fucking cop. Why is this so hard to understand? You are not a cop. Your dad's not a cop. You are probably way more likely to be brutalized by another fucking cop in the middle of you defending this kind of action. What can't you understand? Thank God society is not at least still run by fucking cavemen troglodyte like you who go, hey, he was shot at. It's understandable for them to fucking torture him. The police department suggested charges, but they didn't. They didn't continue with it. Yeah, there you go. Officers involved in violent arrests in October won't face charges. A grand jury has declined to indict Officer Eddie Becerra after the Phoenix Police Department recommended charges against him and another officer. Can you imagine the fucking police department recommending charges and then the grand jury declining to indict him? Hasan, you're wrong in this specific case. He was not apprehended and he wanted to get back up. Dog, you are literally more to the right of the police department. I don't know what to tell you, dude. That's crazy. Like, the cops were like, yeah, this was fucked up. They should be charged. And you're like, nah, that's fine. Stop digging, dog. What the fuck? Move the fuck on. Bro, let other people have different opinions. Dude, what do you mean? What different opinion is this, dude? Yeah, fuck it. YOLO, as a matter of fact. Let me move on from this, dude. Hey, chatters, going forward, if you come in here and you're like, actually, Tyre Nichols deserved to be brutalized and fucking murdered, it's just a different opinion, so I'll just let it go. You know what I mean? No, the only difference here is that you don't agree with it enough to, like, you personally don't think that this is, like, over the top and gross. That's it. Why can't you accept some chat is going to have different opinions? Of course I'm going to fucking, that's what I do. My job is to convince people who have a different opinion about everything, dumbass. All the way from systemic racism's existence down to fucking police brutality. So obviously, that's the reason why I'm doing this. That is the entire reason why I do this. Especially at the top of the hour, when there's a 3-minute ad break coming. Yeah, let me fold, man. Fuck it. This one, hey, guys, Terrible Posture said this one is one where I have to fold to chat. You know, fuck it. YOLO. No, you're right. I'm going to keep it a $150. Fuck you and your fucking opinion. If you think that, like, this guy, who even his own police department thought was, like, being additionally fucking brutal, okay? If you think that that's adequate, then, you know, God, hope that they don't get you in a similar situation. Because if you think that they're behaving this way and it's valid, you don't understand that they behave this way in most circumstances where you wouldn't even consider to be valid. I don't think this is valid either. Neither does the fucking police department that he works for, by the way. His job is to stop criminals, okay? His job is not to, like, take his fucking anger out on people. Do you understand? You watch too many fucking movies, man. And you think, like, cops are supposed to react this way. What do you mean? He shot at them. That's insane. They should have just shot and killed him on the spot then, okay? That would have been significantly more valid. And also, unironically, that would have been standard operating protocol. This is not. If you get shot at as a cop and you shoot back and you fucking killed a person, that's a little bit more understandable than literally apprehending a person who you might suspect has a gun but is very clearly submitting to you on the ground by fucking shoving your gun into them. That's not standard operating protocol. Okay? You can't do that. You can't kick people in the fucking head. What the hell is wrong with you for thinking that that is adequate? Oh, man, it was just a heated gaming moment, dude. Yeah, let him fucking actually shoot him in the handcuffs, dude. They're kicking him when he has handcuffs on, man. What are you, fucking psychotic? That's why cops literally think they can blow up entire fucking neighborhoods when they feel like someone has done something wrong to them, like they've shot a cop. That's crazy to me that you would defend this kind of behavior in this community of all fucking communities. Holy shit. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, he was reaching for his pocket-sized tactical nuke. He deserved the head stomp. Oh, fuck, I forgot to run the top of the hour ad break. Sorry for Poop Sock, and thank you for the 5. Get the subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. I don't have an issue covering this because it seems like an edge case, and I think edge cases like this are the best ones to fucking describe police brutality. Okay? It's controversial because you think he's like not, it's controversial because you think he deserves this, okay? Because what he's done is unconscionable. Shooting at anyone is unacceptable. Shooting at cops especially is the quickest way to die, okay? But the moment that he is already giving in and they like apprehend him.
Where's the gun at? Let me see your fucking hand! Where's the fucking gun?
Like, look at that. Look at what are they doing? They're both fucking hitting him with their guns.
I don't have it. Motherfucker! What the fuck's your problem? Report told me we were having a question. Hey, can you shut it down? You know where he was done? I don't know where he threw it at. It's right here. Hey, don't fucking move!
No, go ahead, bro. Come on. He's handcuffed. He's handcuffed. He kicks him in the back of the fucking neck.
I don't know where he threw it at. It's right here. Hey, don't fucking move, man!
No, you don't understand. He's handcuffed, but like it's obvious that he was actually going to tactically pull out his gun from his ass cheeks and start shooting everybody because he knows gun kendo. You know what I mean? Typical, dude.
What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, shooting at cops equals no rights. I love how that's the point that people love the Constitution use. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's what's so fire about this is like, oh, dude, this is a death sentence. What do you mean? Like, he's lucky he's alive, dude. Like, what the fuck? And in some respects, that's true. He is lucky he's alive in this altercation. But that still doesn't make it all right for the cops to just like keep pummeling into him.
Yes, one guy on like 59th Avenue, 202, just west. Check his phone. Wait. Hey, I won't blow your fucking head off, dude. Where's the gun? Right there on the counter right there. Is that where he left it? Yeah, that's it. Oh, he came in. I didn't know what he was talking about. Hey, we need to... Fuck you, dude. Don't fucking shoot at us. No, what the fuck is that, dude?
Guys, calm down. It's not fucking gross depictions of blood and gore, okay? Every instance of like blood splatter does not immediately indicate a terms of service violation. How many fucking times do we have to go over this every single time? Stop. You're making me focus on it for no fucking reason. Yeah, that cop said, I'll blow your fucking head off, by the way. Do you think he still needed to keep that gun on, trained on his back? Well, not even trained, shoved into his back like that? Do you think he needed to keep up the pressure in the exact spot that he fucking kicked him in the back with his gun? You think that's like a part of standard, operations there?
Shut the fuck up! Check this out, check this out. Recording?
He's like, go figure.
Check this out, just check this out.
Dude, you recording? Look at this.
Recording?
He's like, go figure.
Check this out, just check this out.
Can I get my glasses? Please, get my glasses, please.
It's wild that the police department saw this footage and was like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. That's actually not acceptable, which, by the way, it isn't, for the record. I just want to say one more time, for those of you who don't understand it, you might be some fucking troglodyte caveman-brained idiot who thinks like, well, they, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That makes you feel like Clint Eastwood, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you think that way. But ultimately, like, this is not acceptable, okay? It is definitely illegal. And not only is it definitely illegal, to make matters worse, even the fucking police department considered it to be illegal. Okay? They recommended charges for the two officers. How can you not understand that even in this edge case, the way that cops are reacting and the way that cops are behaving and society's expectations of them and is identical to the reasons as to why the Tyre Nichols murderers did not think that they were doing anything wrong. People that think this is acceptable, beating the shit out of a handcuffed person or continuing to torture them, okay, even after they're fucking handcuffed, are the same group of individuals that are normalizing this level of fucking violence. Again, talk about Atrioc, please. Dude, please fucking, like, perish from this broadcast. Okay? I spent like 2 hours on the issue. I'm talking about police brutality, and you dumb motherfuckers are coming in here and be like, please, like, look at this. Look at this person. Look at this. Look at this. Please. Thoughts on Atrioc? Atrioc thoughts? Atrioc? Talk about Atrioc! Talk about Atrioc! Please! Please talk about Atrioc! Please! I'm gonna fucking die! Understand that the reason why those cops didn't think that they were doing anything wrong is because cops, time and time again, have been in an identical situation and systems have defended them. Okay? That's it.
Charges against
there you go.
2 officers seen kicking a man in handcuffs and hitting him in the head with their gun.
Now, the officers involved say the suspect fired shots at them moments before this incident happened. The controversial arrest happened in October and prompted
I gotta pee, I'll be back.
investigation. Team 12's Adriana Loya has been following this story.
No, I get it. I just felt that he got off easy compared to unarmed black people, but I totally agree with what you're saying. He absolutely did. But also remember, Arizona police is like unique, you know what I mean? Daniel Shaver is a white guy who was also killed by the Mesa Police Department. So, there are a lot of instances where like Arizona police goes buck wild, okay?
And joins us now with the latest.
And we do want to warn you that the video you're about to see is graphic.
Ground, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Don't fucking move.
2 Phoenix police officers may face charges for this arrest. A witness recording officers Eddie Becerra and Nichols Beck stomping and hitting 38-year-old Harry Denman with their guns while he was on the ground at a gas station near 59th Avenue and Buckeye Road on October 27th. Officers arresting Denman after he appeared to shot at them unprovoked as they were leaving a parking space. Gas station surveillance cameras capturing 2 flashes from what police say were the 2 fired rounds.
When officers do something wrong, they should face the consequences. But everything's not just black and white. There's a little gray in life.
Paul Brown, a former police sergeant, says the officers were provoked and doubts they will be criminally charged.
Because this individual could have easily killed one or both of the officers.
The police department launched a criminal investigation into the officers and placed both of them on administrative leave. Now, more than a month after the incident, the Phoenix Police Department sent the case to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, recommending both officers face aggravated assault charges. In a statement, Interim Police Chief Michael Sullivan said in part, police officers must be held at a high standard of excellence, and when we fall short, must be held accountable.
It's true, though. It's true. And if you don't think this statement in and of itself is funny coming from a fucking police chief, obviously, but this statement in and of itself is a true statement. And anyone that doesn't agree with the motherfucking police chief here, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, yeah, exactly. It makes sense why he recommended the charges. The police chief is interim. Don't know if he became the full-blown police chief after that, but that's what happens when you're the interim police chief, I guess. You could just like be a little bit more. Homie, Papa shot off, though. It doesn't matter, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, what do you mean? Oh, he popped the shot off. Okay, so they should have executed him with the fucking handcuffs on. What? Are we that fucking used to police brutality that, like, beating the living shit out of a apprehended suspect is, like, so normal? What is happening here?
In another statement, the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association said the process of review by the county attorney is normal protocol. MCAO records show they received 23 cases involving police this year. Only 8 reviews so far have been completed, and no charges were filed in any of those. Meanwhile, a grand jury did indict Denman on 2 counts of aggravated assault and 2 counts of discharging a firearm. Adriana Loya, 12 News.
Yeah, if they're no longer an imminent threat, they don't need to use force. It's not that complicated. Thank you. I'm happy that there are like normal people in the chat that like understand that this is the fundamental here, you know? This is the fundamental principle. Holy fuck. It's just like it's pretty basic, and yet we still fail to comprehend this shit, and I don't know what to tell you, like, other than you are also completely propagandized if you are completely propagandized if you think that that is adequate. Americans are so accustomed to police brutality when someone is actually killed by police, they'll use a crime they committed to justify it. Like, no, actually, they still shouldn't have died. Yeah, it's wild, man. They're probably still high on emotion, still doesn't excuse it. No, that's it. That's the point. That you can't do that. If you're a cop and you're above the law, okay? If you're a cop and you're above the law, which you are in many respects, you don't get that right to just like be emotional. The entire purpose of training is supposed to, break that out of you, that you behave in a normal way. You behave in a way that is like beyond what normal human beings would behave. Because normal beings don't get to fucking kill people on the streets like cops can, okay? They're not fucking RoboCop. They're still fucking humans, man. If they shoot someone at me, I would 100% kill them. Man, they're real. They're fallible. Holy shit. This shit wasn't that bad compared to the atrocities most commit with a badge. No, brother. You don't understand it. There is no fucking, come on, let them have a little bit of fun. They got shot at. But Americans are brain broken and think that that is fine. Oh my God. This is why cops kill 3 people a fucking day. And, oh my God. This is why cops kill 3 people a day in this country, and everyone still doesn't think that there is like something abhorrently wrong. Do a ride along? Bitch, I have done a ride along. I have actually done a ride along. Where I learned most of cop work is just doing paperwork, by the way. When you're done harassing random, marginalized communities, you just do a lot of paperwork at the end of the day. That's it. I've done a ride along. It's wild, man. They're defending cops just like fucking beating the shit out of a person who is like literally handcuffed. It goes to show that if Tyre Nichols had done something beyond just like getting stopped at a regular traffic stop, most people would have defended the police brutality, which is crazy. Okay? No, man. It's not just that Tyre Nichols was beaten to death and that's unjustifiable. That in and of itself is unjustifiable. But the fact that he was, like, even if he was a criminal in the process of doing a fucking crime and they did that to him, it would still be unacceptable. Yeah, part of the reason Tyre's story got big is that he's a perfect victim. Yeah, I hate that. Like, I hate that that is what is required of people that are victims of police brutality, that they have to be perfect victims. It opens up the conversation. It opens up the conversation to like even George Floyd, like, well, let's look at his criminal record. Like, how do you not understand that? Bro, you just don't understand the concept of justifiable police brutality. Yeah, literally. I don't get it.
anti-crime unit. So we asked our senior investigative correspondent, Catherine Herridge, to look at how these controversial task forces have become part of big city policing.
The Memphis Police Department's Scorpion Unit was intended to be an elite specialized unit in response
You know they're elite because everybody's wearing masks. What the fuck?
to the city's high violent crime and homicide rate. But the 5 Memphis police officers charged in Tyre Nichols' death were new to the force. And a former Memphis police officer tells CBS News the Scorpion Unit training consisted of just 3 days of PowerPoint presentations, 1 day of suspect apprehension training, and 1 day at the firing range. The department did not immediately respond to CBS News' questions.
These units require significant supervision, something that was apparently missing in the Scorpion Unit.
Former NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton says there appear to be many missteps.
You want more seasoned officers, 3, 4, 5, 6 years on the job so you can look at their track record. And you want to select them carefully. And then, most importantly, training, training, and training. And that is the Achilles heel of American police forces in every area of responsibility.
While there's no official data on the number of anti-crime units nationwide, similar issues have plagued police departments in other major cities. Atlanta Police's anti-drug unit known as Red Dog was shut down in
Which, by the way, the police chief, C.J. Davis, was in charge of in Atlanta. Just remember that. The Red Dog unit was also another unit that she was in charge of. Of course, she thought like this disbanded unit was a good unit and should be brought to Memphis.
2011, after officers were accused of using excessive force during a traffic stop and a raid on a gay bar.
This is after thousands of complaints, as we looked at yesterday. And also, one of the things that they did was literally make people spread their ass cheeks open and violate them in front of others in the fucking middle of the street. They like sexually assaulted patrons. So
In Baltimore's Gun Trace Task Force, seen here in this body camera video, was disbanded after 8 officers were convicted of racketeering and extortion.
Memphis, unfortunately, is dealing with a perfect storm that American policing is dealing with in various amounts around the country.
After the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Bratton says senior officers left policing and departments are desperate for recruits.
At this time in the crisis in American policing, you actually want to raise the standards, not lower them. And so everything that could go wrong seems to have gone wrong in this circumstance.
For CBS Mornings, Catherine Herridge, Washington.
City employees have faced consequences in the wake of Nichols' killing. The latest, 2 EMTs and a fire department lieutenant have now been fired. So that's 3 in the fire department. And a 7th Memphis officer has been relieved of duty. Last week, 5 of those 7 officers were charged with second-degree murder and assault.
what does relieved of duty mean? Does that mean, is that a new way to say desk job, or did he just get fired? Because these guys got fired, ex-officer, but they're saying officer relieved of duty. So they mean like, you know, they're not fired yet, but they're under investigation? Like, what the fuck does that mean? No, they used to say desk job or paid on administrative or on paid administrative leave. Why the fuck are they not saying that? I don't understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, two Shelby County sheriffs or sheriff deputies and 2 cops from MPD have also now been relieved of duty, not fired, relieved of duty. And I don't know what that means.
Assault for Nichols' death. CNN's Ryan Young has the latest from Memphis. Also here, CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller.
Family civil cops means paid leave, desk duty, or acting as an intern not fully employed.
Ryan, first, the discrepancies between the video and this initial report. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, something that we're still digging into, and of course you guys can ask John about this later, but I've been talking to Memphis Police Department officers today, and they've been telling me that when you file an initial police report, you also include a use of force part of the report as well. So if you had to escalate, maybe...
Relieved of duty signifies that an employee is under some form of investigation, e.g. administrative or criminal, for an incident they may be either work-related or non-work-related. Some examples are... of being under investigation include allegations of violations under the Manual of Policies and Procedures, driving under the influence of alcohol, lying. Bro, these two things are literally something that every cop does and has never been fired for. I'm sorry. Like, cops literally, actually, that's not true. They do get relieved of duty, and then they're put back on the job. They're put back on the force. Domestic violence? Oh, come on. Come on. Stop. Stop it. Being under an investigation is an extremely stressful experience for an employee. He or she is often full of questions, doubts, and uncertainty. There are often questions about what other allegations as well as their origin. There is usually such a bad headache. What the fuck is going on? Sorry. More water, less chat. Weird the police report was lying. I wonder if the media will reconsider publishing that without a question in the future. Yeah, doubtful.
You go hands-on or use some type of force, you usually include that in the police report. But these discrepancies kind of stand out to us as we've watched this video over and over. We'll take you through some.
This and Uvalde, I hope, will at least like change some people's minds. In the aftermath of Uvalde, I said the same thing. Like, I hope this will educate people on the very clear realities that cops lie all the time. They lie in their police reports. They lie on the stand. It's so commonplace that they have a term called test-a-lying.
Some of them. It says Nichols was an aggravated assault suspect, so that stood out to us as well. And then it said he was sweating profusely and irate upon exiting the vehicle. As we watched that video, you saw the officers actually approach that car with a lot of force. And then it says Nichols grabbed for Detective Martin's gun, and then Martin listed as a victim in this case. Of course, we don't see that initial pull for any officer's weapon. And then it says
Interesting. Nichols was aggravated assault suspect. Wrong. He was sweating profusely and irate upon exiting the vehicle. Wrong. Nichols grabbed for Detective Martin's gun. Wrong. Nichols pulled an officer's duty belt. Wrong. No mention of officers punching and kicking Nichols. Also
Nichols
wrong.
pulled on an officer's duty belt, and there's no mention of the kicking or punching of him. And again, after talking to an officer who's worked in this police department for quite some time, he said that would be listed in that incident report at some time. Of course, not only have we called to see the full report that was initially put in, we also have asked for that 7th officer name that hasn't been released just yet. So there's still a lot of questions surrounding.
Are cops given a list of lies to use in cases like this just so they can get off? No, it's just like they're trained. They learn this on the fucking job. It's like second nature to them to lie like this. They do it all the fucking time. Some of the training, unironically, is to always say, like, you know, show me your hands, give me your hands, give me your hands, stop reaching. He's got a weapon. I mean, it's so normalized that this is like, it's so normalized that this is a meme. You know what I mean? People like make jokes about police brutality when they say, like, you know, he's got a weapon, he's got a gun. It's like Dave Chappelle bits and shit. So it's not even a new concept. Stop resisting.
Report that has come out.
Okay, so John, are discrepancies like this in police reports common?
Well, there's nothing common about this incident because the report does not reflect what happened. So it's more than discrepancies. But Allison, it seems that as if they have built into the narrative a series of justifications. And it's interesting that you hear them mouth some of those at the end of the beating on tape, as if they're building a story that goes somewhere other than we dragged a guy out of a car and started beating him and didn't stop till he was in a fatal
Meaning
condition.
the part about he grabbed the gun. I think he grabbed the gun. I think he grabbed the gun. Like it starts to take on a life of its own.
Even more than that, because when you're
Yeah, no, this is incredibly common. Incredibly common. Anyone who tells you that that's not common is so fucking stupid.
heard them talking in that scene we just played. One of them says, I said, hey, brother, and, he came out of the car and bam. Now, we've all seen that first video.
Right.
They're screaming at him before he's ever out of the car, and he's saying, what did I do? What did I do? I'm getting on the ground. Okay, okay. So they're constructing a false narrative that is false from the beginning, not just the elements they add at the end.
But they also know that they're being recorded, that there's a body cam that both is picking up the story, but also has the incident that doesn't reconcile with what.
Common to not get caught, but this violence is not uncommon? No. It's common to also get caught. It's uncommon to actually pursue charges and do anything beyond desk duty or administrative leave as the situation blows over. That's why they were on camera fucking talking about it like it was nothing.
They're explaining.
Great question, but it cuts both ways. They know that the body camera is going to be blocked. There's all kinds of chaos and confusion. Not everything is going to be recorded so you can see it plainly. So they are building that narrative while they are still recording because they know they're still recording. So they're trying to say, when you look at this tape, here's the parts you might have missed. Here's something that they didn't account for. The poll camera, which captured it all clearly. There's something else here. In the report, they say a lieutenant, and they name him and give his shield number, made the scene, indicating he was there. This is the first time we have ever heard about a supervisor 2 ranks up having been present. So there's going to be a real question about, okay, this lieutenant got there.
The guy that we have on our screens is John Miller. He was the Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism of the NYPD. Prior to that, he was the Assistant Director of Public Affairs for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, where he was the Bureau's national spokesperson. Miller is also a former ABC News reporter and an anchorman. He conducted an interview with Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan. He's the guy who's on screen right now, the CNN guy. He does PR for cops as a part of his job, literally, across the board. Media's still asking serial killers about how the serial killer was bad, Lamau. Well, they're asking a serial killer spokesperson how.
There when, and was there for what part of this?
Ryan, we know Tyre's funeral is scheduled for tomorrow. So what do we know about that?
Yeah, we do know that tomorrow Breonna Taylor's mother will be here, George Floyd's brother will be here. We just learned the vice president will be here at the funeral tomorrow. Put all this together with a news conference that's supposed to happen just in the next few hours. So much still happening here, and obviously with this investigation, people asking questions about that initial incident report and just how many times this Scorpion unit was involved in incidents that haven't been reported or gone this far.
Okay, Ryan Young, John Miller, thank you both very much.
Joining us now, Patrice Robinson, a member of the Memphis City Council. Councilwoman, thank you for your time. I want to pick up where that conversation left off. We know now that there are 2 additional officers who have been relieved of duty. We know one of them, his name was released, the other was not. Of this Preston Hempel, the 6th officer, he was recorded saying, I hope they stomp his ass. He's not been fired. Can any of the officers stay on board with the Memphis Police Department, any of the officers who were involved in this incident?
I do believe that we're going to be as transparent.
I'm not going to lie, foot soldiers, I'm not covering Ethan's apology video, okay? I know that your life unironically revolves around your favorite content creators, I myself being one of them. But if you think that this is like newsworthy at this point when he's come on the broadcast to talk about his perspective and apologize, like, you're kind of crazy. Okay? Just it's not that deep. Just dial it back. We're not doing it. Okay? It's done. It's over.
Transparent as possible.
Please stop.
And I know that we're going to be fair as possible. I don't see anybody on that street at the time should work for the police department. Now, I may be wrong. The law might say something differently, but if they were there and they didn't intervene, they're all in the same boat together.
Yeah, the question is, can trust be restored if that Officer Hempel shows up on a scene and local people know that he's the person who said, I hope they stomp his ass? What degree of trust and confidence will they have that they will be taken care of within the bounds of the law? Do you have a concern about the lack of disclosure of these additional officers being relieved of duty, not on the first day when it happened, but several weeks later?
I have a concern starting from the beginning of what we saw on the video, and you have made it very clear, I heard it in your last segment, that when they approached him in his car, they just snatched him out. We have no idea. Nobody knows why he was stopped. They said it was a traffic violation. We don't know that for sure either. Yes, I am concerned. I'm concerned that all the information did not come out at the same time, but I know the community have been pressuring the police department to issue everything they can. I know that they're doing investigations, but we want to make sure that we were as transparent as possible, and we made sure that we were getting information to individuals as soon as we could get it out of the office. Now, we knew, everybody that looked at the video knew that other people were involved. We didn't know how they were going to be addressed, but now we're seeing that they are being addressed. And my concern at this point is, what are we going to do, and what will the law say that we need to do moving forward, and how will the DA plug in at this point?
Yeah. So obviously there's a question of culture there, not only within this now disbanded Scorpion unit, but these officers were wearing body cameras. They were in a neighborhood. There could have been cell phone cameras. The poll camera was there, and that didn't deter or discourage any of the action that we saw. On the question of culture, is Chief Davis the right person to continue to lead this department as it tries to shift to obviously a different culture?
I believe she is the right person to help them shift to a different.
Dude, I'm sorry. I hate this. Like, the person that she's talking about literally came. The person that she's talking about basically failed upwards and was like relocated like a pedophile priest. Okay? And the things that she covered up were actually not dissimilar to what pedophile priests cover up, which was pedophilia. She, according to detectives in Atlanta Police Department, she tried to convince detectives to stop investigating a police sergeant's husband's pedophilia case. Okay? The man that she tried to defend is now in jail for child pornography. The way that the media is like not questioning this, the Memphis City Council members' statements about CJ Davis is wild. She created the Scorpion unit. How can you cut 4 minutes being like the Scorpion unit is like additionally violent? It's crazy. Maybe people should start asking questions about like why these violent units continue to behave in this like extra violent way. Like, meanwhile, you ask that question and then you're not asking the question like, why did this person build it? Why did this person also, why was she in charge of another violent unit that was disbanded in Atlanta? This council member might not know. No, man. I think a lot of these council members are also in cahoots. The people that you expect to defend you, the people that you expect to be your representatives, are not doing a good job. But also, what is frustrating about this particular incident and the media coverage over it is I'm a fucking Twitch streamer and I have access to this information. You are a multi-billion-dollar operation and you're not bringing this up? Like, come on. Like, that's crazy. It blows my mind, and it has to be deliberate. There's no way that they don't know about it. You know what I mean? I can't. There's no shot that they just straight up didn't see it, and it was like a big oopsie moment. You know what I mean? Oops. We just like haven't realized that this was her background. This is why I get mad when people are like, man, liberal media is so fucking identity politics obsessed or whatever. I'm like, or liberal media is so liberal, so leftist. Like, oh, they're so communist. Like, what do you mean, brother? Their omission, their lack of interest in like investigating this further. Okay? That in and of itself is abso-fucking-lutely. Wait, hold on. This guy's so fucking stupid. I gotta clap this Turkish guy's ass real quick. No, he's getting filtered, but the fact that they are not mentioning this, the fact that they're not bringing any of this shit up, even though it would drive more clicks and it would be significantly more salacious, means that they are interested in hiding it.
Culture. Because you can't take people that are already in the culture and utilize them to change the culture that they're used to. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. But we don't have a lot of bad players, but we know we do have some, and we don't have as many as the public probably thinks. And my heart goes out, not just to that family, but to the families of all the officers, knowing that their fathers, their brothers, their own people are there each and every day working, and they want to see their fathers at the end of the day, or their husbands at the end of the day, or their brothers at the end of the day. And I do believe that Chief Davis has moved us in the right direction, and there was nothing she could have done to have stopped what happened on that day. It was tragic. Those men made very...
Bro, it's her unit. What the fuck is she saying, dude? Is she like friends with her or something? What the fuck? She created the unit, which resembles another specialty unit that was disbanded under her watch in Atlanta. What the fuck?
Very poor decisions from the beginning of the video that I saw all the way to the end.
All right, Memphis City Councilwoman Patrice Robinson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Jerusalem today, meeting with Israeli and Palestinian leaders amid escalating tensions and a surge in deadly violence. Foreign correspondent James Longman is on the scene in Jerusalem. Good morning, James.
Oh, here, by the way, Blinken meets with the Palestinian leader. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Palestinian leader that Blinken is meeting with is also fucking dog shit.